Approximately 5 years ago, the Basel Accord passed a law regarding recycling of plastics and certain low-grade plastics. Malaysia, which ratified the Basel Action Accord, was not allowed to import mixed e-waste plastics. So it basically went from all the e-scrap guys selling plastics to Malaysia to there's no market to sell the plastics, there's no value in the plastics, and what do you do? That became a massive problem in our industry.
Well, good morning. So this is my first time I've had three guests on the podcast at one time. We have John Hess, we have Kelly Hess, and we have Clive Hess. So where are you all calling into from today? What part of the world are you all in right now?
I will respond. We're in Houston, Texas.
Okay. And so am I. So that is good. So what I want to talk about, and the reason we're doing the three-person interview is the company, CompuCycle, has been in business a little over 30 years. Is that right?
30 years to this 2026 is our 30th anniversary. So we're really excited.
That is awesome. And so what I want to do, I want to go to the far origin of CompuCycle, which really starts with John. And so what I'd like to do is just kind of start off with a little background on John and his entrance and experience in the scrap metal industry. So John, what part of the world do you hail from?
Originally South Africa, and have been in the metal business all my life. Started at the age of 23 in
Okay.
1966. So go back a long way.
Okay. And then you're in the metals business, ferrous, non-ferrous.
Right. We were ingot manufacturers. We manufactured copper and aluminum based ingots for the foundry industry, and got into the computer business way back in about 1975 when we imported a machine for stripping cables, and that machine also had the capability of shredding computers, of the old mainframe computers. Of course, there were no PCs at that time. So
Yes,
that was my
of course.
introduction to computers.
Okay. So you're getting into the computer. So we're talking, if I'm doing my math right, that was about 50 years ago that you're involved in the shredding, chopping cables, shredding mainframe computer components. Is that about right?
That's about right. Yep.
Okay. And then how did we get from there to CompuCycle?
Well, in 1966, I was offered an opportunity to come to, sorry, I'm getting myself messed up. It was 1986 that I had an opportunity to come to the United States to manage a company that distributed brass and copper bars and rods.
Okay.
And whilst there, I started a scrap division, and that scrap division eventually became CompuCycle.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So was CompuCycle like a literal spin-off from that company, or did the idea come to you while you were there and you started a completely separate company?
Well, we started it as a spin-off of that original company, and after a few years of running that business, I decided to leave the parent business and get CompuCycle going on its own. So CompuCycle started in the 1990s as a computer processing facility.
Okay. And what does the name mean?
What does the name mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing it's like computer recycling that they kind
Yeah,
of.
CompuCycle. We we were largely in the scrap processing business at that time, but occasionally found product that was resaleable and
Okay.
so repaired that and resold it. And that is how CompuCycle began its existence, and it become a whole lot more sophisticated over the years.
Okay. Now, when you launched it, were Clive and Kelly involved at that time?
Uh, Clive became involved. Clive, I can't remember the year. When was it?
Yeah, I was involved. Kelly in 1996, I believe I was involved. Yes, and Kelly became involved in 2013. Was it 2013?
It's been 14 years, believe it or not.
Yeah.
14
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, Kelly couldn't have, I mean, obviously Kelly couldn't have been involved from the beginning because
No.
she would have been in elementary school 30 years ago.
Well, no, I was that when he said,
Yeah.
John said 50 years, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, well, that's exactly my whole livelihood. And then, but yeah, no, Clive, I think, funny enough, we were dating when you were involved in CompuCycle, but it was great
Yeah.
though, because Clive graduated. Well, you tell your story. You graduated from U of H and then jumped in.
Yeah, I graduated, got involved, and we were, as my dad mentioned, primarily doing electronic scrap, and it evolved. It was really interesting. Back then, there were very few companies doing what we were doing, and so not really knowing how to do what we were doing, we could survive. And we were scrapping mostly for the metal and precious metal recovery, and
Okay.
evolved into harvesting components, reselling the components, and then the refurbishing of equipment on a very basic level, reselling it. And as mentioned, today we are far more sophisticated than what we used to be 30 or 25 years ago. So it grew from a very small business into a today we're a very nice mid-size company in our industry.
We like to
Okay.
think of ourselves as the most dominant computer processing facility certainly in Houston and probably in Texas.
Okay. So Clive, when you joined, I'm guessing it was a cushy job. You're the boss's son. You probably just sat at a desk with your feet on the desk, smoking a cigar all day, I'm guessing. Was that about right? Was that kind of how it worked out?
I would love to agree. Um, Family businesses are very unique, Dave, and I'm very blessed. I'm very grateful for what I have. But it that's I wish that was the case. No, we were certainly
Yeah.
very involved and very entrenched, and it's been wonderful working with my dad, and it's been um, more wonderful working with my wife.
He's just trying to be nice. That's a whole nother podcast, Dave.
Sure.
Let me
Yeah,
say
no,
this.
and obviously I was joking with you, Clive, because usually the story is that when you're the boss's son, it's hard, your life is harder because you're held to a different standard. Sometimes your dad has to go the opposite way and be even harder on you than the other employees.
Yeah, he was actually, I will say, very easy with me, but I was working for him
Getting
for many
getting
years.
Clive aboard definitely took us to a higher level than we were when I was here on my own. And getting Kelly aboard gave us a further injection to the extent that we've, over the last 13 years since Kelly's arrival, CompuCycle has matured enormously. It's become from simply another computer scrapping business to a sophisticated computer refurbishing and scrapping as well. Our scrap division has grown enormously with the addition of a shredding plant for computers and more recently a shredding plant for plastics, which makes us unique in terms of
Okay.
having abilities that others simply do not have.
Okay. No, that I get that. So I'm a chronological thinker. I'm an accountant, and so what I'd like to do is let's kind of go back 30 years. You kind of touched on it, John. Let's think about like the big milestones. So the company started in 96, if I'm doing my math right, 1996. And what year did you join, Clive?
In 96, I was
Okay,
close.
so the same time.
Yeah.
So as you think back, what was like maybe the first significant milestone, if we're thinking kind of like in 5 year kind of increments, like any major things that happened in those first 5 years that were um, meaningful to where we got to today?
If, gosh, going back 30 years, I can't go back 3 years, but, it's bringing on large accounts. I think the first large account that I recall bringing on would be Texas Children's Hospital. And,
Okay.
that was a significant account that we brought on, recycling the electronics. I think that would be certainly a milestone. And then going back to 2000, this is further ahead, but 2010, we became the first certified electronics recycling company in Houston. And that was certainly a very large milestone because we were the only for quite a few years. And that brought on additional accounts, such
Hey,
as
Clive,
yeah.
I don't mean to interrupt. What does certified mean?
So in our industry, there was no benchmark or there was no qualifications that one could have to identify themselves as a responsible electronics recycling company. And
Okay.
corporations were familiar with the ISO certifications. And
Yeah.
in 2008, the EPA and stakeholders created a certification called the R2, which stands for Responsible Recycling Practices Certification. And
Okay.
in order to achieve that, companies had to follow certain practices and had to be certified, just like companies who are ISO certified. We had to
Okay.
go through the process of becoming certified. And it takes about 6 months to a year to achieve that certification, where you are monitored. You have to recycle materials in a certain manner. You have to adhere to the practices. You cannot just export products overseas anywhere to anybody without any
Okay.
standards. And so we achieved that certification, which was at that time extremely difficult,
Okay.
especially a small company that did not have um, processes, policies, procedures that were documented in a
Sure.
professional manner. So that was, I think, a very large step moving in the right direction. And David, today we have the most certifications of any electronics recycling company in Texas.
Okay.
So we have, I think, 7 certifications which would be the ISO 9001, 14001, 45001, 27001 certification, then R2 certification, E-Steward certification, NAE AAA certification. So we have certifications that, the scrap metal companies have zero. So scrap metal companies recycling electronics is actually it is a liability risk to corporations who may be sending their electronics to scrap metal companies for recycling, because they don't adhere to any certifications. Where we have 7 that we have to adhere to. So when you're recycling with CompuCycle, your products are handled in a very professional and very secured manner, especially today with where we are compared to back then.
Yeah, no, thank you for pointing that out. Because I can tell you, so I've been fortunate enough to be a donator of computers to your company through the years. I suspect I'm not your largest account. But of course, my biggest concern was the confidentiality of the data. Because, I'm not a computer expert. I don't really know how to wipe a hard drive. And even if you wipe a hard drive, somebody who really knows what they're doing can still, I'm told, can still recover data some way. So I was looking for a way that I could just give you guys my laptop and be confident that that data was never going to find a home elsewhere.
Yeah.
So is that the biggest concern of like your large corporate providers or customers?
Yeah, it's and let me just one other milestone I'll say
Okay.
that I wanted to throw in was certainly Kelly joining CompuCycle, and it's over the years I've delegated responsibilities, or responsibilities have been removed from me, and Kelly is the CEO of CompuCycle, and truly Kelly is an incredible leader of CompuCycle. I always tell people that, and I've mentioned earlier that I'm blessed, and Kelly is phenomenal. And working with Kelly is extremely rewarding for me because of what we've accomplished, and we continue, and we have the most amazing team at CompuCycle. The company culture in this at CompuCycle is extraordinary, and it's because of Kelly and the team. So I think I'm going to kind of bow out now, and I'm going to pass it on to Kelly.
Okay. Yeah, no, but hold on, because they don't give themselves enough credit in the sense of where we've gotten to. Where I came in about 2012 was our kids I kind of came up from the nonprofit world. That was my life after graduation. And, I did a public relations, psychology, communications degree, but fell in love with nonprofit world and the fundraising of it, and development directors of various different nonprofits. And almost 25 years ago, October, Clive and I got married, and had our 2 beautiful daughters. And when I was working, I decided to stay home and raise the girls, but was kind of doing some marketing and communications that really wasn't existent at the time for CompuCycle while I was working at home. And it was an amazing company for me, because both John and Clive created this company that was really green before it was even cool to be green. And wanted to really try to see how we could maximize what we were doing, because the growth had kind of been flat, and they were doing well, but we needed some type of growth in business development. So that's where I decided I was going to come in for a couple years and try to just build clients, try to find new business clients. And we were very blessed and lucky that we were able to get some very large accounts. And a lot of these accounts we were working with were saying, we don't understand why you're not a women-owned business. Like this, there, obviously in this world, in this niche of the business we were doing, there's not a lot of women-owned businesses. And what a growth possibility or opportunity it might be if you become women-owned.
Okay.
That is kind of where it all started. And so 10 years ago, I signed the dotted line and decided to see, okay, I'm really going to see what we can do and build with CompuCycle. But I would definitely say, yes, I've been able to grow the business with business development and accounts, but where the growth has really come is getting the right people on our team. It has been the strength of our management team, the actual managers of our company. We have about 100 employees right now,
Oh,
and
wow.
yeah, and all of them are so dedicated. They're loyal. We've had some with great tenure with us, but it was really us realizing we had to start hiring people smarter than us. And that if we wanted to really grow.
And Clive was the first one that made that hire when he brought you.
Well, and then I've had to make, and then as a team, we've definitely hired a few more of those, which has really been what has got us to this next level. And so it's exciting to see. But I think what I'm most proud of with CompuCycle as our company and what we've been able to create is I am so proud to say when it comes to looking for the most responsible, the most secure, the most sustainable and circular solution, you cannot do better than CompuCycle. And we have such great differentiators of especially being here in Houston. I mean, I mean it when I say it, David, there is no reason why any company in Houston should not be using CompuCycle because we are the only one that can truly show and guarantee responsible recycling. Because we're not only that recycler, most recyclers are sorters. They're going through the equipment, what can they reuse and what can they resell? And being a certified company, we're so proud to be dual certified with that R2 and eSteward certification. But in my opinion, being certified is not enough because certified companies have to use certified downstreams. But being in the business for 30 years, we have unfortunately learned the hard way. And it's those downstreams, certified or not, which is unfortunately where a lot of the landfilling, the exporting, and finding your things on eBay happens. So we said as a team, no more. And we put in our processing facility next door and a multi-million-dollar shredder where we're now everything that comes to us, if we're not able to reuse and resell, which we're going to give value back to our customer if we can resell it. But if not, it's going to go next door to that processing plant and it's going to turn directly into its raw materials, the steel, the plastic, boards, aluminum, copper, and it goes directly to the mills, smelters, and refineries to be recycled. So that's like the biggest difference where, any company that uses us can sleep at night knowing that it's being done the right way and things aren't leading CompuCycle. And that is like what I am most proud of. And then we took it to the next level with putting in the plastics plant because e-plastic, most electronics are made of about 60% plastic and the e-plastic is dirty. So we created a sink float system where really the plastic gets about 4 different baths and we're able to separate the plastic and then as well as separate it with an electrostatic machine that breaks it down to its ABS and PS form. So we can create domestic solution now for the plastic. So that's where we become the most circular. But what's really been amazing is us being able to see how CompuCycle is really that last piece of having an effective cybersecurity plan. If a company is going to put all of this money in protecting themselves with the cybersecurity, but at the very end, they're not taking care of their equipment and the disposal, then it means nothing. So we've really tried to pose ourselves as like really the most critical, essential piece to the end of that plan because we want to make sure things are done the right way.
No, that is great. So by the way, I just wanted to clarify something with Clive. So one thing you and I share, Clive, is we both married way over our head and we're both married to rock star wives. So when I say that you married someone smarter than you, I can say that being that I'm in the same boat. So I'm just letting you know, I'm not really picking on you. I'm more commiserating with you that we really got way over our head with our spouse selection.
David, I agree. We certainly did, and I have 3 women in my life, and believe you me, they're all smarter than I. But I wanted to just add on what Kelly mentioned. For me, my goal with CompuCycle was to have a solution to our clients that was a completely secured solution, and where chain of custody remains with CompuCycle. So when we invite our clients, we invite all prospective clients to visit CompuCycle, to see the process, to understand the process. Once you see it, it's very easy to understand it. And any questions or concerns that you may have, you mentioned earlier, you wanted to make sure that if you drop off your product at CompuCycle, you are mostly concerned about your data and how do you know that it's going to be handled correctly. So when we bring clients into our facility, and our facilities are access controlled facilities, we have security on site. So it is very secure. But when you go through the facility and we show you and we walk you through where it arrives and how it's processed, any questions, concerns, we have companies that will audit us. We have their security departments visiting CompuCycle. We have cameras in our shredders where you can see the product being shredded. We show people how it's been done, and it is absolutely a closed loop solution, which is exactly what I've always wanted. And we have that process today to offer to our clients, which is a major. We talk about what would be the milestones. That is a milestone that we've actually achieved today, where there's no other electronics processor in Houston. We're the third or fourth largest city in the United States, and we are the exclusive processor in Houston. Very, very proud of doing that. And in Texas, we're the exclusive electronics processor separating plastics into single polymer plastics. But clients are always concerned about data. Cybersecurity, we're the only electronics processor in Texas that's ISO 27001 certified. So we can check the cybersecurity just through that certification. But we do these things because we want to be a leader in the industry, and we also want to protect our clients throughout the entire process.
Yeah. So by the way,
right way.
Oh yeah. How long has it been since you moved across the street to your current facility? It feels like 3 years ago, but I'm pretty sure it's been longer than that.
2018, we moved into this facility, and then 2019, we opened up the processing facility.
But I think it's important to note that in 2018, that facility was 40,000 square feet. When we moved here, it was 80,000 square feet. So we doubled our size. And that next year, we bought next door for our processing plant, which is now another 50,000 square feet. So truly tripled our size in 1 year. And so the good news is we have capacity to do more, which we'd love. In our processing plant, we do about 40,000 pounds a day of processing.
Oh, wow.
But we could do 60. And I would love to get us to 2 shifts. So we'd love to always get more customers, and we'd love to be able to show prospects and customers to tour our facility. We're so proud of what we're doing and how we do it, and we're very transparent. So we encourage any prospect to schedule a tour with us. And something also that we offer, just more is less a community service, but also because it's the right thing to do, is residents can bring their equipment to us 5 days a week and drop off, and we'll be happy to recycle it free of charge, destroy all their hard drives. So residents don't have to worry about their data.
Well, that is great. It sounds like I'm overdue for a tour because it was probably 2020 that I was last there. It was probably right after the shredder got started.
Yes.
And certainly I've not seen the plastics recycling. So talk to me to the extent that you're comfortable discussing in general terms, because you made the comment that depending on the value you can extract from the machine, some of that value may go back to your customers. Can you give me just kind of a general sense, like, let's take some company that recycles 1,000 computers a year. What's kind of the general process? Do they deliver them to you? Do they have a big container? Do you go pick them up? Like, why don't we just start at the beginning? How does it work, Kelly?
Yeah, no, and I'll let Clive go into more of the pricing. He's the pricing guru for us. But really what's so great is that we can accept material. We have 3 24-foot box trucks driving. I call them my driving billboards. They're going around the city all day long, picking up
Yeah.
equipment. And so we bring stuff here directly to us, but also companies can ship things directly to us. And
Okay.
or if there's locations outside of Houston and they want us to either white glove service to pack it and or we can ship it, we have our own logistics where we can bring and arrange. So really from anywhere in the United States, we can handle collections. But what's the process really is once a customer is in our system, Clive or myself are the only ones that are able to develop a contract for that company. And it gives us
Okay.
the exact instructions of what they want. Some companies need everything destroyed. Some things will allow us to give value. So depending on the contract, we have specific instructions. But what we're also so proud of is all the data bearing devices come in and we put our own asset tag on that equipment. So we're
Okay.
able to track that equipment as it comes into CompuCycle, and we can see exactly what happens to it, where it goes, where it is in the process. But our customers can also. So they
Oh,
can get
wow.
a serial number of a machine. They can be able to see exactly when it was recycled. This online portal holds our certificates of data destruction, certificate of recycling. So all of these things our customers can access at any time. But when it comes to value, usually our baseline is anything 5 years and younger and that has this working condition. But I'm going to let Clive take over at this point.
Yeah, it's so where we can refurbish product for reuse, we give value back to the customers. So
Okay.
typically, if product's 5 years old or younger, we're going to give value back to the customers. We're going to destroy the data. We sanitize the data using Department of Defense compliant software. Our reporting, we'll report the make, model, serial number, capacity of the hard drive, and include in the report the parent serial number that the drive belongs to. So very detailed reporting. Drives that fail the process, we physically shred. We have some clients, as Kelly mentioned, we have some clients where 100% of the equipment coming in here has to be shredded.
Mhm.
We have camera surveillance throughout the entire facility, so you can witness the process in person, or you can witness the process via camera. But where we can refurbish and reuse, we give value back. Our sales channels, we sell to various verticals, depending on the age of the equipment. So we sell product domestically, we sell product internationally. We actually have launched, and David, I think we're the only company in our industry, we have online sales where our customers can actually witness the sale of their products and see the value that we actually are getting for their products. So we are
Oh, wow.
extremely transparent, where our clients can see what the value of the product is. We have a lot of clients that ask us, how do we know we're getting the maximum value? So we now have a way for them to see what the value is, and then we're selling that on a revenue share basis, where based on what we sell, they'll get X and we'll get Y.
Okay.
So we're trying to maximize the value for our clients, and whatever we cannot resell, then we process through the shredding plants.
Ooh, but I have to mention, I love
Yes,
also
Kelly.
that one of our biggest buyers too is ISDs across the country.
Oh, really?
You can
Okay.
buy 3 systems for the price of 1, and we sell with warranties. So I'm so proud that we're able to provide school districts across the country with affordable equipment for the students.
No, I like that. So I'm curious. So, you're the only computer recycling client we have. And so I'm more familiar with a traditional yard. So, like a scenario where there's like a manufacturing facility and they have like turnings and scrap metal that comes from the processing facility that's clean. Now, my understanding is that type of material, the recycler is actually paying for that material. Now, I would imagine in the computer world, it might be different. If a client wants everything destroyed, do they tend to pay you, or are you still paying them because of the scrap value?
It's both. So yes, we do give scrap value, but there are items where there is a cost for us to it's not like a scrap metal company where you're bringing in clean aluminum, dirty aluminum, steel, copper, etc., etc. TVs, for example, when we're processing TVs, inside the TVs, there's products that there's a cost for us to dispose of. If it's
Sure.
the lamps, the glass, the panels, where there is a cost for us to process and dispose of that. So if a company just had cable and we brought in the cable, yes, we'll give them cable value, just like the scrap metal companies will pay for their product. So it's a combination of both, that and depending on the volumes, we will price it that way. So we have manufacturers that need their product shredded, and we will then there's a cost for us to process, and there's value that we give for that material too, and we'll share certainly the value with them as well.
And David, too, what I think is so important is that we also provide incredible environmental scorecards and sustainability reports for our customers. So we're actually able to show them what has been diverted from landfill, what is the reduction of carbon footprint, and especially having that processor next door, we can actually break it even down to the actual metals of what it is that's been recycled, what's been reused, what has been resold. So we can provide all that data to them to make them be able to show their corporate sustainability departments what a difference they're able to make by using a company like CompuCycle.
Okay. So your customers, are they like across industries? I mean, I'm guessing you've got some oil companies as clients.
Healthcare and oil and gas here in Houston obviously are very heavy, but we handle companies of all sizes, all industries. And
what's kind of the minimum size that it makes sense for them to have a conversation with you? I mean, do they need 100 employees or 1,000 employees or?
So companies can deliver their product to us.
Okay.
Or we can. So small companies, there are very small companies that will bring their product to CompuCycle to be processed.
Like the way my company does it. We just drop it off. We don't pay you anything. You don't pay us anything. You just take care of it.
Correct. So yeah, it really is any size. Most importantly, is how we process the material, and that is not going into a landfill, that we're not exporting it overseas to to a downstream that is not to third world countries that cannot recycle the product correctly. We have to adhere to very strict regulations, and hence we open up our processing plants where we can shred into the raw materials. And so we are not exporting products overseas to be processed. We're processing it domestically. And what we do export is the raw materials. So yes, the steel we sell domestically, but the aluminum and the copper and the boards and the plastics, we can sell that domestically, or we can sell that internationally as the raw material.
Okay.
Yeah.
So talk to me about the plastics recycling. Before you started doing that, was that product just going to the landfill?
No, so the plastics industry, the plastics were being shipped to Malaysia. Malaysia is the largest plastics market for for low grade plastics material. And in approximately 5 years ago, the Basel Action Network, so the Basel Accord, passed a law regarding recycling of plastics, and certain low-grade plastics had to be recycled in accordance with the Basel Action Accord. And really what that came down to with electronics plastics is that you could not, Malaysia, which ratified the Basel Action Accord, was not allowed to import mixed e-waste plastics.
Okay.
Because the United States has not ratified the Basel Action Network, it was not illegal to export out of the United States, but it was illegal for them to import into Malaysia.
Okay.
And so the Basel Action Network put a lot of emphasis on monitoring what was leaving the US and what was going into Malaysia. So it basically went from plastics, all the e-scrap guys selling plastics to Malaysia, to there's no market to sell the plastics, there's no value in the plastics, and what do you do? And that became a massive problem in our industry. Fortunately, we decided because we were shredding electronics and were generating the plastics, we wanted to further process plastics, and we wanted to extract the metals, excuse me, from the plastics. So we added on to our processing line a plastics washing and sorting system, so we could remove the metals, have clean plastics, and get more value for the plastics. And the timing was just, it was wonderful, because we just happened to do this at the right time. So today we have a solution for the plastics. We can sell plastics domestically, or we can sell plastics internationally. In order to sell it internationally, you have to separate the ABS and PS plastics, which we can do, or we can sell it domestically mixed. So we have a plastic solution. The plastics, I'm grateful we're not in the, we always tell our clients, we're not in the plastics business. We don't want to be in the plastics business. We just happen to generate plastics. The plastics markets at the moment are very depressed markets. So
I always say it's sustainability over profitability, but it's the right thing to do.
Yeah. So, and that's why we're very grateful we're not in the plastics business. But it is a today the virgin plastics actually it's the recycled plastics. The virgin plastics prices are so low right now that the recycled plastics is not a needed plastic. In Europe, they are mandated to use a certain percent of recycled plastics in the manufacturing of equipment. That does not exist in the United States. So there's a much stronger demand for the plastics internationally than there is domestically. Hence, we can sell the plastics internationally. But it's wonderful that we can offer this to our clients. It has opened many more doors to CompuCycle, because clients who are concerned about the environment, who do want to do the right thing, who want to make a difference and want to make an impact, they are using CompuCycle because of our capabilities.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I just looked at the clock. Man, time flies when you're having fun. So as we're rounding the home stretch, I just have a few more questions. So Kelly, so you and Clive and John have done a great job of explaining why CompuCycle is uniquely positioned to serve companies, especially in Houston and Texas. But I'd like to kind of flip the question. Can you share a customer story or two as far as what your customers tell you that they love about CompuCycle? Can you think of like a couple examples, like where somebody had a different solution that was problematic, then they found CompuCycle, and CompuCycle, really made a big difference? Can you think of a couple examples? And you don't need to mention the companies by name if it's
no. I think one of the things I'm most proud of with CompuCycle is that we're not a cookie cutter approach. We really create tailored solutions for all of our companies, because working with companies of all sizes, all industries, all of the needs are different. So we've really been able to tailor solutions to what their needs are. But I really think what's amazing is John, Clive, and myself, what pride we put into our customers. And they're able to see that as owners of the business, that we actually, how much we're involved and how much we care. I give every potential customer and customer my cell phone. If there is ever a concern, a problem, an issue that they're having, they can call me directly. We have a great sales team, but if they're not getting what they need or if there's a problem, I want to know so they can call me directly. And we really
Okay.
work on having the personal relationship with our customers, and again, of all sizes.
Okay.
Every customer we have means something to us. And I think like that's one of our great selling points, and something that's important to us. But I also think too that we love to grow. We're all about continuous improvement. So we challenge our customers that if they have projects or different types of equipment that they're not sure if it's something that we can process or do, send us a picture. Tell us what your project is. Let us see if we can do it, if we can grow our services, because that's how we grow as a company. And then we can offer more to our other customers. So we really
Okay.
challenge them to see what else can we do to help them.
Yeah, Dave, let me add that the feedback that I get from a lot of our customers is how responsive we are.
Mhm.
If you email CompuCycle within 24 hours, you'll have a response. You need
Okay.
something done, we get to it. They are amazed at how efficient we are at what we do. So, large corporations where typically they're waiting 3 or 4 or 5 days, we get back to them immediately. And then their pain points. We had a client a week ago that it's a very, very large client. They're an international client that needed a solution for certain hard drives and certain devices that are very important devices that they do not want to leave their facility. They want to be able to just wipe these devices individually themselves. And so, we are very easy. They use our license, they wipe the device, and they send the device to us. So we can electronically do that, where they can just log in through the portal, click a button, and it will erase the data from the device. So
Oh, wow.
it's, we have solutions. We work with our clients to make their lives easy, and we make their lives so simple. We have a team that does data center decommissioning. So we go on site, we decommission the data center.
All over the
We
country.
do that all over the
Oh,
country.
wow.
And it's a very experienced team. And the feedback that we get is, you guys can do it in a week. The last company that we used, it took them 3 weeks. So we're very efficient, and we're very transparent. I mentioned when we're selling your product, that you can see the value that we sell in your product. It's just, we are so good at what we do. And when we can prove that to our clients, we never lose clients. Once you come on board with CompuCycle, the experience is unbelievable. And we truly are the expert in our industry, because this is exactly what we do. And yes, we have much larger competitors, but we are very streamlined, we are very efficient, we are very nimble, and we get things done very, very well. And so we're so excited because we're growing. We really are growing within this industry, and our capabilities are unbelievable, and we continue to improve. Right now, we're focusing on data, we're focusing on AI, we're focusing on
Okay.
how do we become more efficient at what we're doing. Within these two facilities, we are processing the same amount of material 50% more efficient than where we were 2 years ago. So
Really? That's amazing.
we need to move into another facility today.
Today, we just need more equipment.
Yeah, it's just incredible. So we set goals, and we continuously achieve those goals, and we're growing, and we're
But really, to be a family-owned business, which we are, and what John, started for all of us, what's amazing is that we still haven't lost that. We can now do what all the big boys do in our processes and procedures and services, but we also are still very much a family-owned business in the sense of, I hope our customers realize how much we care and that we're available to them and our team cares. And I just hope that says something, that we haven't lost that.
Yeah, we're not a mom and pop organization, but we treat our clients with the same respect as we would like to be treated, and we treat our employees like they are family to us. So and our facility is clean, our facility is dust free, our facility is safe. Our employees have the PPE that is required. We are always looking out for our employees. I was actually at a facility yesterday that yesterday I came home to Kelly and I said, I've never seen something so dusty and so disgusting, and how they would allow the employees to be in that environment. When I left that facility for an hour, I was coughing, and it was awful. And we would, it's just not who we are. And this is an international company. I could not believe it. And we will never treat our employees
Wow.
In that regard.
So it really sounds like the philosophy that your relationship with your customers is more than just a vendor, customer, that it's truly a partnership.
Absolutely.
Right. And that you work together, you're always, trying to improve things. And then it also sounds like the relationship with your employees is somewhat similar, that it's a partnership. Y'all are in this together and you play different roles, but everybody's important. And does that kind of summarize that?
Yeah, no, we definitely see people for their strengths, and and maximize them to what they're good at and what they have a passion for, and it's worked. It's an equation that
awesome.
works.
Yeah.
So I have one more question, and it's for each of you. So it's the same question to each of you, and you can't copy one another's answers, okay? I'm going to start with John. So John, at this point in your career and the evolution of CompuCycle, what do you enjoy the most as far as your role these days with the company and with Clive and Kelly? What brings you the most enjoyment?
Okay, so I'm at the stage of my career, right at the end stage of my career. What I enjoy most is watching the success of Kelly and Clive, which I find so remarkable. And when I look at the company now and relate where it's at to where it was when they came on board, the difference is like chalk and cheese. I mean, the difference is massive. The volumes of business that we're doing, the the relationship with employees, the relationship with customers, all of these things has sort of metastasized into so much more than it used to be. So
Okay.
that is what I'm proud of, and that's what I enjoy most.
Yeah, that answer doesn't surprise me. I see you more frequently socially than I do Kelly and Clive, and I've always had that sense that pride and just the how gratifying you find it that you started this thing, and that Clive and Kelly have really just taken it to a whole new level. So
But
that
don't let
makes
that
sense.
fool you. He's here every single day, and a door is always open, and really a consultant of consultants when it comes and helping us with our scrap metal side still of the business and everything. So he's here every day.
Well, that is great. So I'll go to Clive next. So in your current capacity, what do you enjoy the most? What gives you the most satisfaction?
Yeah, Dave, I enjoy also watching the growth and the success of CompuCycle. But I think I enjoy doing things that make me happy. Where I used to have to do everything, I now can focus more on establishing partnerships, focus more
Okay.
on working on the business, instead of the nitty gritty little things that I used to be so bogged down on. I
Hmm.
don't have that anymore. So it's helping salespeople be successful. putting quotes together that are, very difficult because of the experience that I have. So it's
Okay.
that's what I enjoy. Yeah.
Awesome. Kelly, last up.
And watching
go
three
ahead.
people she loves.
Yeah, so I have to say, this answer I can finally give you confidently, because I probably, if you asked me the last few years, I wouldn't be able to say so confidently. Because now with having a sales team, I'm not always having to focus on finding the new business, and also kind
Okay.
of being able to not be in the nitty gritty as much and be more at a higher view. But I have finally gotten my nonprofit life back and been
Oh,
able to,
yeah?
yes, and combine both. So there's two things I have to tell you that we're doing that I'm just
Sure.
beyond proud of. The first thing just happened recently, and we've been trying for years to make this happen, but we have a partnership with Goodwill Houston.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yes, and so Goodwill Houston, their mission is to empower lives by work and to
Mhm.
employ people by work. And the way they do that is by having all of these donation centers. People donate, and then they're able to put
Mhm.
their money into the career development. Well, we wanted to be able to have a place where people could donate or to give their equipment. So when Goodwill accepts electronics, if they can't sell those electronics, we're going to take them and then we're going to pay them for the scrap value.
Oh,
So
wow.
we're, one, responsibly handling all the stuff they can't sell, and two, be able to provide money back to them where they can put it into their programs. So I'm very proud that that's a partnership we have here in Houston, and that's developed just recently. And then we also have a partnership working right now with Pearland ISD that we're trying to now replicate within other ISDs. And I have to give Clive credit for this because he's the one that really created a training facility for individuals at school that are that no, that have the gift, like really the children that are on the spectrum of autism. So
Mhm.
they have from 18 to 22 years old at schools, those students that have somewhat graduated high school but still need time to develop. We've created a job track, a training facility where they're able to dismantle the equipment.
Oh,
We're
wow.
to then pay, it's the equipment that they're dismantling is their school's equipment. We're then picking it up as scrap. We're paying them for that scrap so they can keep the program sustainable,
Mhm.
as well as
Mhm.
pay some of their students as interns. They're getting job training, which I can now bring over to Goodwill and have them go into the job piece of
Wow.
work. So
That's amazing.
not only are we circular solution and recycling, but my goal is to create a circular solution and community impact.
That is awesome. That is
That's what I'm
awesome.
excited about.
That is awesome.
So it's doing
Well,
things like that I'm really, really hope that as we grow, that we continue just how can we collaborate and make more impact in the community, as well as the responsible, sustainable recycling.
no, that is awesome. Congratulations. Goodwill is my paternal grandmother worked at Goodwill for like 40 years in Sioux City, Iowa,
You're
which
kidding.
no, because I know you're from Iowa,
Yeah,
right?
my whole family, my mom's
Yeah.
side. Yes, all of it. Wow.
Yeah, so Goodwill, they started a church at the Goodwill facility, and anyway, so I'm a big fan of Goodwill, so I
That's
appreciate
great.
that connection.
Yes.
Um, so I can't tell you, so I want to thank you all for two things. One, I want to thank all three of you for taking the time to come on and tell the story. I really appreciate it. And secondly, more personally, I just want to tell you how much I appreciate having had the chance to serve you all on our services. The team always tells me that they always enjoy working with your team, and it's been fun to watch from our end, to watch the progress of the company over time. So thank you for having that opportunity to be your partner in the tax services that we do.
No, we appreciate everything you do
Thank
for
you.
us, David. Thank you. We enjoy working with you.
Well, thank you. Well, you all have a great day, and we'll talk soon.
Great.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
There we have it, another great episode. Thanks for listening in. If you want to continue the conversation,
go to icdiscshow.com. That's ic-discshow.com. And we have additional information on the podcast, archived episodes, as well as a button to be a guest. So if you'd like to be a guest, go select that and fill out the information, and we'd love to have you on the show. So that's it. We'll be back next time with another episode of the IC Disc Show.